Hey y'all, I'm in the house. Got me some ground beef going and fixing to feed Bjorn. He's my sourdough that I started myself just from flour and water probably about 20 days ago. And he's doing great. I've already made a nice loaf of bread with him. This is Viola Merido. She's doing good. She's been a little watery. I think she's needing extra feed. But I'm going to try to make 3 or 4 loaves for Thursday. See Bjorn? He's sticking to the sides. He's doing pretty good considering he's new. I started her the 1st of December. Anyway, I was going to show you how I feed them. I have my scale. I'll try to sit you down so you can see. And I don't have enough of these jars because I've got 4 starters. I've got 3 of the Viola Meridos, just because I'm feeding and sharing with my friends and family, and I'm afraid I'll mess one up because I'm just starting and just started new in December. So I wanted to keep a couple extra on hand. So I've got some more jars coming. Until then, I'm going to mix them up in this. And then I'm going to wash these out and put it back over in here for it to rise in. Because these really you can't protect these from gnats or anything getting in them other than throwing a tea towel over them. And that's fine, but like when you want to store them in the refrigerator for a week or 2, they need to be, after they've risen, they need to be sealed tight so that you keep the mold out. And you want to make sure your jars are clean. A lot of people reuse the jars, and that just is, to me, it's just asking mold to come into it. I like to use a spatula. They sent me this wooden thing. With my kit that I got from Ballerini Farms. That's the one that Viola came from, dehydrated, and I have been rehydrating her and getting her going. It's not my favorite tool. I don't understand why, and I see a lot of people using these. To me, a spatula gets the sides, it scrapes everything off good. Now this is wood, so it's easier to stir, but it just depends on what you've got. Just don't use a spoon or any kind of metal. Use rubber or wood, plastic, something that's stiff. Okay, I zero this out, make sure it's on grams. I put 30 grams of flour dough starter, which isn't that much, y'all. It goes quick. That's 30. The rest of this is discard. You can make Dutch pancake, or what they call German pancakes, Dutch baby, German pancakes, bagels, crepes, English muffins. There's several recipes I saw that I want to use my discard with. I've made a couple And they're really good biscuits. They make really good biscuits. Okay, you want to zero that out again. You want to put 125 grams of warm filtered water. Room temperature is what I'm meaning to say. Depending on how cold your house is. I use my tap water because I'm on a well and I have a whole house filter. It's good enough. I would not use city water because it has all the chemicals in it, fluoride and all that stuff to try to clean it up. If you don't have a well, then just go buy you some distilled water. Kind of used for baby bottles and stuff. And I mix mine up good with my water. That way it's the milky water before I zero it out. Normally I use unbleached all-purpose flour. About half of it and half of unbleached bread flour. But I'm out of the all-purpose, so I'm going to use all bread. And you put 140 grams of bread flour. Or you can split it. And there's other flours you can use too. I haven't played with those yet. I'm trying to find a place local to get in bulk. And now you just mix this up good. Make sure all the flour's mixed up good. Try not to have any clumps. I'm fixing me, since I'm home alone, I'm fixing me tacos tonight, but without the shell. Just meat and lettuce, tomato, onion, and cheese. I didn't want to go to the store and get shells. And I could make tortillas out of sourdough, just like. I don't really want any bread tonight. I've got some blueberry cream cheese sourdough bread I made the other night. It's in the refrigerator, so I usually have a piece of it. With some fresh homemade cow's butter. That's the best stuff, y'all. I never knew what I was missing out on. I remember back in the day when I was young, us making butter and soap and all with my granny, but you know, you just didn't appreciate stuff back then. Or nobody does when they're kids. Really. And you really should. And I always mark mine. So using rubber bands, just keep a dry erase marker around. That's where we start for now till I get switched back over. This is Bjorn. And I'm going to write that on there because I don't want to get him mixed up. And I normally, because it's cold in my house, as you can tell, I have a sweatshirt on. I normally, no, that's not Bjorn, that's Viola. I normally put them in the oven with the oven light on. Just leave the oven off, just turn the light on, and that keeps it warm enough in there. So we're going to start all over, zero it out. And this is Bjorn. And I got Bjorn from Vikings, in case y'all haven't watched Vikings, nor know any of my farm animals' names, because my pigs are Floki and Freya, and my two Great Pyrenees are Lagertha and Ragnar. And then this is Bjorn, Ragnar's son. Bjorn to be wild. And I really think he is Bjorn to be wild, because he is really growing good. And that's what the yeast is that makes this grow from flour and water. It's wild yeast. It's born to be wild. It just comes out of the air. It's amazing. People buy the dry yeast in the store, and it is faster. You don't have to, wait a day and a half to cook your bread, fermenting it. It can't, it's pretty done, but there's also a lot more chemicals than that. And if you're making your own bread, aren't you trying to get away from chemicals? Just my theory. We can't get away from them everywhere we go. But I feel like every little bit we can do helps. I wish I'd started this years ago. I was practically raised this way. I just got away from it myself with my kids. My kids, the only one that cares anything about any of this is Justin. Olivia does come. She's coming around. Brittany's actually raising flowers now, so that's a start. She's leaning this way. Caitlin is busy. She's got 2 babies, and her and Rob are running the tavern pretty much, so they don't have time to think. And I remember those days. I keep myself covered up, and I don't even have kids at home anymore. I have Grayson here every now and then, but his mom is usually here with him, so it's not like it's something that's my responsibility. Thankfully, I don't want that anymore. I do love them being here, though. I've loved getting him to being raised with us, in our house, putting him to bed at night, and getting up with him in the mornings, and being able to help as much as we can. Also, trying to, keep my boundaries so that he knows who his mom is, I want to step in. She's raising him pretty much by herself. His dad works out of town, so he's gone. He only sees him every other weekend for a day and a half. What you want is like a thick pancake muffin batter. Not really, don't pour, it's thick. You can, once you mix them a few times, you'll see a consistency that you like and a texture. And then you'll start doing it. You really can start doing it. You can eye it. That's why I wear an apron. Oh, man. I wipe my hands on it. I wipe Grayson's nose on it. It's just, hey, back again when I was raised. That's exactly what it was used for. It's a pot holder. It's the refrigerator door grabber when my hands are full and dirty. And I'm sorry, my nose has been running all day. The change in the weather, it'll be 70 here one day and it'll be 20 the next. It'll be dry for 3 months and then it'll be wet for 3 months. Not a happy medium, just gonna tell you. And this one is Bjorn. Okay, I'm gonna put these in the oven. And I'll try to get back on and show y'all how it's risen tonight. I always just put a tea towel over them so I can get them changed back over. And I may not change them over tonight because I'm gonna feed them for the next 2 days because I'm gonna cook with them starting probably Wednesday. I don't have my times down yet. If I'm gonna eat it this day at this time, what day, what time do I need to start? Because you start it, you feed it, you wait an hour and a half, then you massage in the salt with a little bit of water, and you can either let it bulk ferment on the counter for 4 to 6 hours until it's doubled in size, stretching and folding every hour for 4 hours, and then if it takes 6, I just let it sit. Or you can do like I did the other night. I stretched and folded for 2 hours, and then I just put it in the refrigerator and got it out the next morning, rolled it up, put my inclusions in it, and baked it, and it turned out fine. You, like I say, you know, you can get instructions, and even the instructions I started with, I've already changed. You get your own feel. You do your own thing, your own way. There's really not a right or wrong way to do it. You just have to learn what you want. You have to learn what works in your house at your altitude, with your humidity, with your indoor temperature versus the outdoor temperature. There's just a lot of things that goes on that changes how these turn out. So you have to just figure it out yourself. Anyway, y'all have a good night, and I will try to figure out how to edit these so I can show you the outcome of how they've risen later on tonight, probably around 10. Y'all have a good night. Love y'all. God bless.